Hey guys, Ash here. Today I have a very special treat with you. It's an interview with the best tournament player so far on record in Clash Royale. It's Elite Gaming's own CMcHugh. So without further ado, here he is. Alright guys, I am here with none other than McHugh. McHugh, what's going on, man?
What's up, guys? How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. I'm really excited to have you on. Just briefly, we'll go over some of what makes you a pro tournament player. You finished first in the recent SHT big Chinese tournament, and that was a 15,000 card chest. You finished third in Galadon's big 1,000 person stream, or 1,000 person tournament, I should say, that was streamed, and that was 7,500 cards. And you have 5 top 3 performances all in tourney week. You're probably, without a doubt, Elite Gaming's best tournament player, at least one of the top 1 or 2. So I'm here to, we're going to watch a few of your replays, and I kind of just want to pick your brain, and maybe you can give us a few tips, and we'll just get into your decks that you prefer and stuff.
All right, sounds good.
All right, so let's go ahead and start with the first replay you shared here against the Asian characters, I believe. I'm not sure, but you're one at the top.
I got it.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and press play right now, and we'll just kind of talk about the deck that you're using here.
Okay.
So, well, first of all, how many decks do you use in a typical tournament? Do you have like one go-to deck, or do you kind of switch it up?
I switch it up. I either have the triple legendary minor deck, or if I'm struggling with that, I go to trifecta.
Okay, so here you have the minor deck in the replay we're watching right now. You're a level 10 going against a level 12, so kind of why don't you just walk us through a little bit of how you, right now you're obviously playing defense against a Hog and a Musketeer. Why don't you talk us through defensively how this deck works, and then we'll move on to offense.
Defensively, well, of course you have the Inferno Tower, which is huge. And you have the Ice Wizard, which slows everything down. And with this deck, mainly, you're not ever going to want to force an attack. You're always going to be looking to defend first and then counter first. Okay,
great. So it's that's what makes it partially like a really good tournament deck, because you can really withstand the full 6-minute length if you have to.
Yeah.
Okay, so defensively, your 2 biggest weapons are Inferno Tower and Ice Wizard. Do you see any people making mistakes commonly with those cards? Or what's your general strategy when it comes to, do you have any tips as far as those cards go?
With Inferno Tower, sometimes against Royal Giant, obviously they'll try to trick you with minions or little troops. You have to be ready with either Fire Spirits or Princess and Zap works to clear out any troops.
Okay, so Inferno Tower against like a Royal Giant. What I always do is I just kind of delay until he gets in range of my tower, and I try to immediately put it down before he locks onto my tower. And if not, I'll zap to retarget. Is that pretty much what you do as well?
Yeah, and another good thing, the placement. If you place it to the left sometimes, people will fly minions over the river, and they're not expecting an Inferno placement to the left.
Okay.
So that'll get people sometimes.
Okay, so to the actual left of your actual tower, so way far to the left.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So why don't you talk us through offense? You said that mostly your offense comes from countering, so is there ever a time? Well, what's your best win condition on this deck? Is it, like where do you get most of your damage done?
With the mini P.E.K.K.A.
So basically like a minor mini P.E.K.K.A. combo, or like what's your mindset for the mini P.E.K.K.A.? Just defense and then hopefully combo him off the minor?
With this deck, you have Fire Spirits that have to be zapped. You have Goblins. And now with the new update, Inferno, people will zap that too.
Mm-hmm.
So if they end up zapping an Inferno Tower or Goblins, I can easily push in with Fire Spirits and mini P.E.K.K.A., which usually gets a tower.
Okay, nice. I noticed, by the way, you played that Inferno Tower just now way off to the right. Like that's like the furthest place you can possibly play the Inferno Tower.
Yeah.
And still attract a Hog. So if you're going against one of these Hog Rider decks like this, it seems like everybody's playing Zap and Poison now. When you're going against this type of archetype of deck, what is your mindset? Obviously stopping the Hog, but beyond that, like how do you deal with the Hog Rider type of meta?
The best thing you can do is just get a good placement on your Inferno Tower and make sure you clean up on the Musketeer, because the Musketeer does the most damage with that deck. That's what I've noticed from playing it.
Okay, and what's your number 1 weapon against the Musketeer with the deck that you've been using?
You can zap it and then drop a mini P.E.K.K.A. and it should clean up in one shot.
Okay, cool. By the way, I'm just going to hop over to the next replay and I'll press play whenever you're ready.
Okay, which one is that?
This is the one against DCM 2008.
Okay. Oh wait, that's not me.
Oh wow. Thanks for the heads up there. Okay, where are you? Oh, okay. We'll go to the next one above that then against Hades.
Three Musketeers.
Yep. Let's go. So we'll press play whenever you're ready.
All right. I'm pressing play right now.
Okay, so you're using the same deck in this one?
Yep.
So if you had to pick a favorite deck, would this be it, or do you not really have one?
Yeah, this would be my favorite deck, especially for ladder tournament. Trifecta does work really well because it's just so hard to stop. Mm-hmm. And you know exactly what's coming, but people still can't stop it.
So what are your, obviously there's something about you that makes you way better than your average player, than 99% of players out there. If you could pinpoint, what do you think that you bring to the table that keeps you winning all these tournaments? Is it just playing a lot of matches, getting your reps in, or what? Can you put your finger on what's making you have all the success?
It comes down to playing a lot of matches, just knowing what to do and where to place your troops, but also it's just staying composed, especially when you're against higher level opponents.
Yeah, so and obviously it seems like you really have your placement down on everything, knowing the absolute best way to defend everything.
Yeah.
So that's obviously comes with time and repetition as well. So how do you deal, let me ask you some just general questions. How do you deal with a Sparky deck? Because I think that's one of the biggest questions I get is, what's your easiest way to counter a Sparky? So if you know that your opponent's playing a Sparky early on, what are you thinking?
Depending on what they have in front, either a giant or a royal giant, I gotta make sure I get my Inferno Tower on that, and then I'll usually zap the Sparky and put a mini P.E.K.K.A. on it.
Okay, so you just wait, and then zap mini P.E.K.K.A. with the Inferno Tower down. So when you go against a Sparky deck, I'm assuming that you always make sure you reserve your Inferno Tower for when they play a Sparky?
Yes.
Okay.
And I keep my zap in hand.
Okay, what about when you play one of those Prince decks that you said you also like to play? What is your philosophy there? So obviously, the Inferno Tower, again, a nice defensive weapon there.
Yeah, you need to keep the Inferno Tower, especially, and the Ice Wizard. And one thing you can do is you have one Prince go to the Inferno Tower, and then you have your mini P.E.K.K.A. for another Prince, so you can split them up, making it easier to deal with.
Okay. That's a good tip there. And here you're going against Three Musketeers, and it looks like... Oh, that was a really nice play there you had. You zap mini P.E.K.K.A. goblins?
Yeah.
That was good. So, okay, that was the Prince deck we talked about. How about if you're going against an air deck, like a balloon? I mean, I guess the Inferno Tower is really the answer on all these questions, right?
Yeah, the Inferno Tower is really good.
Have you ever tried any other defensive card instead of the Inferno Tower in this deck?
I've tried Tesla, which seems to work somewhat. I just like Inferno because it deals with every single deck out there.
Yeah, it's definitely true, because, I didn't even anticipate you having the same answer to everything, but then I was like, of course, Inferno is the answer as well. So why don't you tell us a little bit about, have you been into competitive gaming before, or is this your first game?
Yeah, I have been into competitive gaming.
Oh, nice. What game?
Call of Duty. I actually quit for Clash Royale.
Oh, no kidding. And you were pretty competitive there as well?
Yeah, I was pretty competitive.
Nice. Did you play any of these tournaments or anything like that, or live in person, or was it?
Yeah, I attended some LAN events.
Oh, nice, man. Well, it looks like you have a good pedigree for this competitive gaming. So another nice victory on your part there. Let's go ahead and move up to the third one that we shared. And why don't we just ask a few general questions, because there's probably no one better. We'll go ahead and start the one against the guy from Egypt Masters.
Okay.
So there's probably no one better to ask than you, but if people want to improve in tournaments, what are some just general tips you can give them? Because, some of these tournaments, we're running into really stiff competition, right? I mean, these guys know what they're doing. So what is your best advice? You already shared to be patient and to think defensively. Anything else that you see people just make? Go ahead.
Yeah, my best advice would be not to switch your deck too often. Just get comfortable with one deck. That's the best option for you. And to try to get your cards to the tourney cap. And also that you should feel free to take breaks during these big tournaments, because it's not always about who comes out strong and quick in the beginning, but who finishes strong.
That's true.
In a lot of the tournaments I've won, I was not even in the top 10 for the first hour, and just the last hour I killed it.
Wow, that's cool to hear, actually. It gives people hope. That way they don't drop out, like, an hour into a tournament or something, or a 2-hour tournament or whatever.
Yeah.
So you find that just, like, staying with it and just not panicking and just continuing to do your thing. Now, when you finish, like, first and in the top 3 in these huge tournaments, how many losses do you generally have throughout a match? Or throughout a tournament, rather?
I usually have about 2 or 3, but
jeez, that's
some
incredible.
of them come in the beginning, so they're not too big of a deal.
Wow, that's a lot, man. That really just shows how high the bar is for to actually finish top 3. Like, you can't have any losses.
Yeah.
I know in some of these smaller tournaments, I've never finished top 3 or even top 10 in one of these huge tournaments, but I finished first and top 3 in like smaller tournaments that I just do during the day. Yeah. And even those, if I lose twice, I'm pretty much not going to finish first or second. Usually, in most cases,
Yeah.
So it's difficult, but so it's just really keeping calm and stuff and getting your reps in. So I'm sure people will really appreciate that advice. Is there any tips for people who don't have all the legendary cards? Would you have a favorite non-minor deck?
Yeah, my best advice is just to get really good with Trifecta. It's the best deck out there for people who don't have legendaries, and it still wins tournaments too.
So what is your favorite Trifecta deck? Obviously Prince, P.E.K.K.A. What else?
You have the Hog Valk Musketeer deck with Poison and Zap.
Nice. Well, yeah, maybe we'll go ahead and have you back on sometime, and you can share some information about that deck, because we're seeing your favorite deck right now, but you did mention that you'd like to switch it up when you're going through, like, a slump or something. For a slump for you, I'm imagining, is just, like, one loss, right?
Yeah.
So well, here you go. You're dealing with Sparky right now. We can actually see you do it live. So there it is, Zap and Goblins, and you're gonna take it down, right?
Yep.
Yeah, you do. And it was a level 4 Sparky, too, so and only a level 11 Goblin, so that was definitely that was probably the best method, cheapest method to take down a Sparky. Yeah. Because, have you tried rolling with, like, Rocket or Lightning or anything like any of the big power direct damage cards to try to counter, like, Sparky decks? And
no, I'm not really a fan of those.
Yeah, me neither. I mean, Lightning doesn't even kill a Sparky in tournaments.
Yeah.
So I tried that out to my dismay when I found out it didn't work. So, but I guess before we let you go, man, is there any other like general tips? Is there a card that you feel is underused or underrated that you feel that more people should try out or anything like that?
I want to see the log in action. I want to see people use that because for 2 elixir you can kill a princess and any other troops that are around it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I'm excited to see.
Dude, I just got logged today, and I'm super excited. I've been using it a little bit. I used it at a lunchtime tournament, and I'm still getting the hang of it. Obviously, it's pretty simple, obviously, but I'm trying to find like the best deck for it and the best place for it. But already, it's so cool to drop that log on a princess and be like, "Yeah, what up? That's an elixir win."
Yeah.
For me.
So, I saw Clark Kent using it. He's doing well with it.
That's the deck I'm using it with. I stole his because he finished second in a tournament we did yesterday. So I'll share that with the viewers. Actually, I'll throw it up on the screen. This is the deck right now. You guys can see on the screen. And it's Furnace, Miner, Ice Wizard, Zap, Poison, Mini P.E.K.K.A., Minions, and the log. So far, so good. I finished, I think, 20th or so in a 150-person tournament this afternoon. Just trying to get a 20th. Just trying to get a feel for it. But I like the log as well. So I'm excited to see that.
Try that deck out.
What's that?
I gotta try that deck out.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. I mean, I still, one of the weaknesses I find in it, at least for me, early on, is I don't have a great answer. Well, I guess I do. I was going to say, I kind of struggle against those power decks. With obviously no Inferno Tower, and, I have some answers, but I don't have, like, those distracting goblins or anything like that, or anything small like skeletons to distract a charging prince. Other than, obviously, the Furnace and Fire Spirits, but I don't know. We'll play around with it and see what we can come up with. But
yeah.
I guess we'll go ahead and let you go. I guess my final question for you, man, is you finished first in the SHT tournament, right? That was supposed to be only Chinese people, but somehow you got in. You have your magical ways.
Yep.
And I think the people who finished first were supposed to get an invite to the Shanghai tournament. Has Supercell reached out to you by any chance?
Yeah, they have. I actually got an in-game notification from them. It is in Chinese.
Oh no, have you translated it or?
I did. It's basically just your standard sign up link.
Okay. And have you gone through yet, or are you kind of up in the air right now?
I'm still thinking about it.
All right, well, I hope to see you there, man. It'd be pretty cool. I'm gonna reach out and see if to Supercell and myself and see if you are officially qualified to be a special VIP guest at the tournament. That'd be really cool.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, man. So I hope to see you there. That would be really awesome. Another elite gaming person stepping up. And I just wanted to thank you so much for coming on the channel, man. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you.
Good luck, and especially good luck if we see you in China, man.